Hi, I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this week I had a very strange dream. You know, when you're on social media and have you seen those clips of like comics that do crowd work or do puns and ask for people to shout out subjects?
Yes.
Yeah, you get them globally, I hope. Well, I was one of those people, and I was like, give me a subject, and somebody said cheese. And I started obviously with the I've no good cheese puns, and then I started to get really niche, and I was like, I had my favorite cheese years ago in Japan. It was a large irradiated thing. I think it was called Gorgonzola, and then I went off into one and was like, if you put a skull cap on Godzilla, does that make him a kaiju-ish? And it was just like a thing that happened. And I'm worried that I've watched too many of those reels, and in my mind, it's making me an even worse punning wannabe than I ever usually am.
Well, part of the reason we started this podcast was to eventually push Kevin into joining the Punderdome competition.
Yeah.
It only took 7 years, and look at you, so close.
I thought we were meant to just like empty him of puns gradually over
Yeah,
the
well,
years
that
until there are
was
none
the
left.
alternate option, but apparently that didn't fucking work. So we're gonna go
Yeah,
with
it's not gonna work.
Well, I mean, you guys must know it's beyond hope at this point because, like, I was pleased with myself thinking of the Gorgonzola pun. So, like, I'll keep holding that. That's my bit of pride for the week.
Poor
I'm
Vicky.
pleased. I'm pleased.
That's all I'm saying.
Poor Vicky.
Poor Vicky. That's my comment to make about that.
You know that's how he orgasms, right? With a pun. You know, a lot of people they get the O face and they go, but Kevin's like, oh, my love is like pie. Irrational and never ending. Yeah, I get it.
Hi, I'm Craig. Feel enjoy living in England, and I'm going to say some things now. I'm going to say Jared Leto sucks. Zack Snyder is a hack, and Paris Hilton's 2006 debut album Paris is not very good. Does everyone agree with me? We can put that to bed.
Those are safe. Those are safe views. Yes.
Pretty sure.
Totally factual. No one here is going to argue those points with me.
No, nobody
today,
on this
no.
podcast this week would argue against those points.
No one's going to tell me that Paris is a good album and I should have it on vinyl. No one.
No.
Weird.
No, that's
okay.
I know, right? It doesn't. It
What a
feels
strange
wrong.
atmosphere
It feels so wrong.
we found ourselves in.
I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned put a man's voice through a little filter and people start being nice to even the worst of hacks. And this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Woo!
Yay. That was in direct reference to Jared Leto in Masters of the Universe, the only extra film I got to watch in full this week. Started something else, but because it's 106 degrees outside, all my neighbors ran their AC units and I kept having blackouts, so I gave up on the other one. But I'm excited to tell you about that one next week.
Do you mean blackouts as an electricity or that time you killed all those people?
No, as an electricity. The time I killed all those people, that was more of a brownout. I mean, you know, I wasn't in control, but I have like a fuzzy memory of giggling and blood. But you know, we won't talk about that.
Okay,
legally.
okay.
I have to edit that now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I enjoyed Masters of the Universe. Overall, I will say, yeah, Leto sucks, and people keep giving him a pass, but I hated his Skeletor. Why did I hate his Skeletor? Because not only was he flat and bland, and he just did a really shitty accent, you could hear that they had to digitally manipulate it to give it any kind of gravitas or any kind of weight or any kind of inflection, because Leto is not a human being with emotions and feelings. And he once again failed to convey anything. And it's the worst part is Skeletor has some really good lines. Like these would be hilariously bitchy lines delivered by somebody who gave even a slightest bit of a fuck would have been great. But instead, it's digitally manipulated and it's better than you expect, but still not good. But I liked
People like
mhm.
sorry, people overuse the word iconic, but Skeletor in the cartoon series
It's
is kind of
iconic.
iconic. He has
Yeah,
an iconic voice,
100%.
unforgettable. I wouldn't really want to try and go after that, especially for
No.
Jared Leto.
Well, especially if you're going to go with such a really generic villain voice. Like there was no life or personality to it, and that's what makes Skeletor work. He-Man is goofy, and they didn't shy away from the goofy entirely, but I feel they should have embraced it a bit more in spots, like with Skeletor. But whatever. I didn't mind Nicholas Galitzine. Sorry. As Adam and He-Man, he was fine. You know, he did a good job with it. Uh, I really did enjoy Camilla Mendez. She was underused though. She was very much underused. They backseated her so much, so often, to the point that in the big final battle, they gave one of the tertiary characters, female characters, a far better fight scene. And it's like, dude, you're facing off against one of the big bads. I should see some of it, shouldn't I? No. Idris Elba is a fucking treasure. And I'm going to say that again. Idris Elba is a fucking treasure, even if his agent disagrees and he makes shit about like man-eating lions. When given the opportunity to shine, he does, and he's a lot of fun in it. Alison Brie is wasted. Alison Brie can be great, and she does give her all for her moments, but they just don't give her much to do. Her little bits, like she is interacting with nobody or a man in a a suit that is going to be totally digitally replaced, and she does it really well. She really does make the scenes with Skeletor work. James Purefoy is King Randor, and like I was sitting there, and I was like, God, I've seen him somewhere. It took me like forever to realize that it was James Purefoy. So I don't know if that's on me or on James for aging too much or having too bad of a fake beard, but there it is. And Marina Baccarin is the sorceress, and she's gorgeous and always fine, and she was fine, and the rest of the cast was fine. I enjoyed it. It looked okay. The fights were mostly okay. Again, I felt the last one was a bit of a disappointment. Dolph Lundgren had a great little had a great little cameo in it. Tragically, they wink at doing at She-Ra, but you know, the movie did so poorly that will not happen. Now, I think Amazon is still doing a live action TV series, which I don't see the point because the Netflix one was amazing and not long ago. They should have just reposted that, but whatever. You know, it's okay. It doesn't do anything great. It doesn't change, you know, cinema history, but it's a fun little family film. I'd put it on par or above the last dozen or so MCU movies I've been forced to sit through, but it tanked, so you know, whatever. Guess it
That's
doesn't
a
matter
shame.
now.
I like the character designs. I like how much they've stuck to. I haven't seen it yet. I've just seen the character designs, and they've really just stuck to the original models without fucking about with them too much,
They
which
did.
I appreciate.
They have some nice bits with the. I mean, even most of the CG is not terrible. Uh, except the final fight where they do these really dumb slow motion shots, which just look atrocious. But overall, it looks fine. The CG looks fine. The physical costumes look fine. Like it looks good. I don't know. I don't know if like Travis Knight just can't seem to like catch a break when he does a live action because this was better than a lot of the stuff I've been forced to endure lately, and so was Bumblebee. But both of them tanked, and I don't know why. Maybe the world just hates the owner of Nike's son, which maybe, but he's got another film coming later this year, which is stop motion, which looks amazing. It's based on a great book, so hopefully that'll wash the taste of this failure out of his mouth. I'm just really sad that fucking Scary Movie 18 made $1 bajillion, and this made like less than nothing.
Well, the weekend we had a family film day in my house. I mentioned this before, I think. Me, my wife Stephanie, my son James, we all pick a film, and it leads to some really strange fucking triple bills, and it did again. Stephanie went first, and she had some nostalgia working around her head, so she went with the 1995 family comedy Casper, which I had never seen before because it is Casper, and I was 15 when it came out, and I had no interest in seeing Casper. And it was kind of cute, really. Like I didn't mind it. Casper himself is a little too friendly, and if you look too hard into it, it could be quite creepy. But Christina Ricci, and Bill Pullman, they're good value. They do a really good job. Ricci especially, she can do this kind of deadpan comedy in her sleep. She's really good. She pretty much carries the whole thing. It's got Kathy Moriarty as a villain, and she's really fun, scheming piece of shit villain. The CGI is pretty solid for the era. The character design as well is good. I didn't particularly love the three bad ghosts that inhabit the house of Casper. They were just kind of annoying and there for the younger kids, but the character design was pretty good. The production design, sets in particular, the main set is really good. Even though this isn't my sort of thing, it just made me look back fondly on the sort of sets you'd see in movies in, the mid-90s. They really did. They put the money on the screen, and, I appreciate it. And it's got a really excellent James Horner score. I mean, like I said, it's obviously Casper's not my sort of thing, but I try to look at it through, a younger kid's eyes and see, how much value it'd have then. And, it's fun. It's a fun family film, which Ricci carries pretty effortlessly because Christina Ricci is great. I assume you have all seen Casper.
I saw Casper in the theater, and I've seen it since. Oddly enough, in the 30 years, my view has not changed much.
Is that a good view or a bad view, or?
I really like Ricci in it, and I like Bill Pullman in it.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Kathy Moriarty's doing a lot of heavy lifting. I think my problem is Casper's a little creepy and obsessive.
He is. He's creepy stalker fuck.
And like I was a teenager when this came out, and I still saw that at the time in the 90s. Like in the 90s, I was like, dude, there's something wrong with this kid. So I mean, that's my problem. Like I had to explain it. Okay, now I've always been icked out by the nice guys thing. So like, let's say obsession is not a big revelation to me. Like, oh, they're the bad guy. No shit, they're the bad guy. I've been saying that for 30 years. So looking back, it still makes me go, oh. I watched it with Killa like 2 years ago, and I was just kind of like, oh, the whole time.
I think there is a type of film that aims squarely for like prepubescent girls who are just starting to like boys, and almost kind of they like the idea of like an intense, which when you're older you see is just weird kind of romance,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, when you grow up, you're like, okay, that's icky, but the intensity works for girls of a certain age. And I get that. It's probably not a good lesson to be teaching them, but
no. I mean, that's the problem. That's something that's like really forefront on my mind the last few years, and a lot of things just come up lacking and make me go, why? I did have that moment you mentioned. I think you mentioned it like 2 weeks ago. Now that I'm thinking about it, where like you have to be. When you see a movie with an actress that you had a crush on when you were that age as well, the phrasing there, because
yeah,
I remember watching, and I've done it more than once because we've watched a few things with Christina Ricci where I will say something and it just comes out as, I've had a mad crush on her since she was 11, and it's like, I was 11 too, though. I mean, I want to be
important.
Clear.
Yeah. There's me with Danielle Harris. Yeah, I remember. She was a couple of years older than me in Halloween 4. I was like, oh, I like her, and I had a crush on her ever since. But she has always been older than me. at all times. It's always been okay. Well, then my pick, and I went with the obvious film to follow up Casper. I went with a first-time watch of a 1960s psychological thriller, Peeping Tom. Natural segue into Peeping Tom. Yeah, that was as excellent as I've been told it is many times by many people, including Martin Scorsese. Everyone loves Peeping Tom, and they are right to. It's wonderful. It looks absolutely fucking incredible. Like my jaw's on the floor at points. Like that vivid, luridly lit cinematography throughout is phenomenal. It's one of the best looking movies I've seen in a good while. Just gorgeous. Karl-Heinz Bohm, the lead actor, he is really wonderful. He's very much in the Norman Bates mold, but I think this came out like a year before Psycho. I know the book came out after that. I'm not sure how close the book Norman Bates is to Anthony Perkins' Norman Bates, but this cinematic version, this this one his name again, Karl-Heinz Bohm, his cinematic character feels very similar to the cinematic Norman Bates. He's disturbed and he's haunted and he's gross and he's violent, but he's kind of endlessly sympathetic to at least a minor degree. You can see how much he has been warped by his experiences, and it's a really great performance. And then just on top of that, there's all the performances are really good. All the actors are really good. One of them gives like an impromptu dance number at one point, which is excellent. But what I liked most of all was just there's kind of layer after layer of different themes and subtext, and there's so much going on here, mostly to do with objectification and the male gaze. But I'm going to go back and watch it again soon because I'm pretty sure repeat viewings will be quite revealing and rewarding, because I think there's plenty more to dig out of that film, and it was definitely very much way ahead of its time. And yeah, great movie. I probably still prefer Psycho and The Servant. I think those three films have a lot in common, but it's a great fucking movie, and I assume you've all seen Peeping Tom.
Actually, if you get a chance, go over to AC's Horror 101 with Dr. AC podcast, and he did an excellent episode covering it with our friends Aaron, who's been on, and Christiane, who's been on a couple times.
All right,
It's
nice.
a good one.
Yeah, I'll give it a look. Yeah, excellent fucking movie, and I don't know what made me wait so long to give it a go, but I'm gonna
That's one of those ones
I'm
where
sure...
it's like the dirty little stepchild of, because it did beat Psycho by a few months. I think Psycho is September and Peeping Tom is April.
Yeah.
But like it's a lot kinkier and filthier.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
More lurid than Psycho is, and which is crazy because Psycho is like, when we were kids, folks were still like, "Ooh, it's Psycho! It's this lurid movie," because our parents saw it when they were children.
Yeah. Well, Hitchcock very much likes to be present himself as quite respectable and kind of. It's also full of lurid, horrid shit, but he knows how to dress it up so it doesn't seem quite so disgraceful or disgusting.
Peeping Tom didn't do that, and it didn't really get a rediscovery until, I want to say, like the 90s, maybe the late 80s, but I think it was post Video Nasties era before folks were like, "Hey, you know what? This movie's pretty fucking good."
Yeah, the 90s, or any conversation anyone ever had with Martin Scorsese, was when you got to hear about.
Well, yeah, but that all came out in a rush because he'd talk about all their movies.
Yeah.
This is the rare time when I'm sitting here thinking, did we not do that in the podcast? And then we didn't.
We didn't. No.
Yeah, I love it very much. I didn't. Oh God, I'm going to mispronounce the name, but wasn't it Scorsese's editor that was married to Powell?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I believe.
Well, his consistent editor.
I think that's where you get the crossover. Thelma
Shoemaker.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly Google it in case I'm talking out of my arse.
That
But,
sounds very much like Nicolas Cage marrying Elvis's daughter
yeah.
to like
No, she did.
fight just
She
to find
married.
out shit about Elvis.
She was
So
married to Michael Powell for like 6 years. I don't know how long before that they were together. But yeah.
I can imagine
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese hiring her just to like.
But do you think Scorsese didn't love Pal before that? I mean, that.
Oh yeah, of course he did.
I mean,
I
come
know,
on.
but
Like,
I think he was able to. I think they both helped one another in kind of helping to either like bring attention back to these movies or just sort of drag them up from where, as you say, when it
she was.
kind of didn't have much of a reputation for a
Oh,
while.
God bless you, IMDb. She was introduced to Powell by Scorsese,
Oh wow.
Oh well,
not the
there we
other way
go.
around. Yeah.
Oh cool. Yeah, Marty and Film Shoemaker are just one of the greatest teams in the history of cinema. Just in their films wouldn't be anywhere near as amazing without each other. I love them both dearly. Now, one for my of the three films we watched, my son James, his pick was. Now, this is going to get a little bit confusing, and you guys are actually Dave might know what I'm talking about. Kevin, I'm going to lose you here. I've said that James has had us watch the two Bayside Shakedown theatrical movies. They're a Japanese police procedural comedy series that then had theatrical spin-offs. So he's made us watch two of the theatrical spin-offs. And then instead of letting us watch Bayside Shakedown 3, he said, no, I'm taking you back. And I thought, oh, we're finally going to watch a series. No, he's taking us back to a bunch of TV movies released between the show and the theatrical films. So we watched the 1997 Bayside Shakedown year-end special alerts. And there are like 4 or 5 of these before we even get into the theatrical films. Bayside Shakedown was huge in Japan. Huge. And I really like them, man. They're turning into like comfort material for me. Just I feel comfy and cozy watching a Bayside Shakedown movie. The characters are really great. There's just a lot of like love and good energy in these films. Really fun storylines that tend to always converge and all come together in like the third act in really fun ways. And there's a legitimate dislike of police hierarchy and inner politics as well, which I appreciate. They've essentially made the same film a dozen times, but I'm good with it. Just give me more Bayside Shakedown because they're just really fun. And there's a new
one
film
coming. Yeah, because
Yes,
it's only like I've seen the series. It's only 11 episodes, but yeah, I think there's many movies if you include the TV movies as there are episodes now.
yeah. There are a lot of movies, and I'm really excited for the new one. Like I've only seen like a few of these films, but I watched the trailer, and the lead character puts on his famous like slightly filthy coat, and I was like, oh my god, like so excited. I would get that coat's autograph. I don't know how, but I would. I just these are real comfort material, cozy movies for me now. I might even pick one of them at some point, so you can all enjoy some Bayside Shakedown because they're really fun movies, and I think I should share them with you. I think that's mostly me for the week. I did watch Russell T Davies' new Channel 4 drama Tiptoe, which is really
So
good.
did I. Yeah.
It's heavy-handed as fuck because Russell T Davies is not a subtle man, but it is heartbreaking and frustrating because you can see so many different avenues that could lead to greater understanding and love, and they're all missed, and it just comes to a devastating end. And no, Russell T Davies is not a subtle man, but I also don't think this is a time for subtlety. So I was kind of good with it. It's really good, and oh god, who are the two main actors? David Morrissey, who I've had a crush on for many years, who is a phenomenal actor, and god damn it, Scottish gay.
Come on, you'll think of it. I know
Alan
you've got
Cumming.
this. Yeah. I was
Awesome.
waiting.
Yeah.
He was going to get it.
Sorry.
And the next thing was going to be Nightcrawler.
I thought it was asking me.
No,
like
he was
Scottish.
thinking
I
about-
was. I thought as soon as I mentioned Scottish, I'll get something
God.
out of.
Just
Kevin.
because
But yeah,
somebody
they're
says
both
Scottish does
excellent.
not mean speak, Kevin.
It
Dude,
does.
you have a name
Oh, you know
be
what,
more-
Kevin? You've sent me on a little little segue. My wife's been getting Tunnocks tea cakes for the last few weeks,
Oh,
and she keeps eating them. I keep saying, "Oh,
nice.
can I have one of them?" She's like, "No, I bought them. They're mine." I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll buy some." When we do the big shop, and I keep forgetting, so she keeps getting these Tunnocks tea cakes. I'm like, "Ooh, can I have one?" She's like, "No." But I actually got a box this week, and they were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, if I open the box, they're gone. They're just gone. I used to, one of my old jobs used to get like a Christmas hamper, and you could try and get one that had like the box of Tunnocks tea cakes. So I don't know, it's like 36 or something. It lasted about 3 days. I was going. It was like it was like me approaching a bowl of tiny sweeties, be like, "I'll just have one more," but they're Tunnocks fucking tea cakes. I'm just
Yeah.
like one. Sometimes
The
all in one go.
marshmallow is like you could almost eat it with a straw. It's just that
Yeah.
perfect level of oh god, it's so good.
What I find is sometimes all in one go. Sometimes I can nibble all of the chocolate off around the top. Sometimes I can just have the marshmallow chocolate topping and have a biscuity base. There's so many options.
Absolutely.
Go through
Yeah.
them all.
Well done, Scotland. And
You're
that's me for the
welcome.
week. Oh, what did you think of Tiptoe, Dave?
I haven't finished it, but I am enjoying it.
Yeah,
So
it's very good. It's very funny as well in points, but it is, also. Just
I'm just glad Remember
horrifying.
Davies isn't doing Doctor Who, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I
He
think
should have
he
been
does much
separated
better
from that
at dramas.
Yeah.
These
Do you remember?
little,
Did you ever see the
one-off
one?
dramas.
What was the one he did? Speaking of Doctor Who, with Christopher Eccleston, where he was the new Christ, and it's about the end of religion. That was really good.
Not sure about that one.
What the? I'll
I
remember
can't-
later.
I
Yeah,
can't remember that
it'll
one. I'd seen
pop
all the
into
new
my
ones
head.
up to, I think, Peter Capaldi, but I can't remember that.
The Second
Tiptoe
Coming.
Eccleston
That's
one.
what it was called.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I like him a lot better when he does these little one-off drama series where he's got less, restrictions and. But yeah,
Isn't just cranking out the same episode for 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have. Apparently, Doctor Who's just stopping because they can't get anyone who wants to be Doctor Who. And I'm sure they could. They're just like second guessing themselves.
Well,
they're a bit lost.
They've been lost for a long time, and I think that's the problem. Because the only reason, like, the reasons it's kept going is like meta reasons. Like, it should have ended 3 Doctors ago, and that's not a judgment on the people that have played the Doctor, just the material reality of television production generally.
Yeah.
But because it's the BBC, there were extenuating circumstances that just kept it going for like a decade, which is crazy, interesting, but crazy.
Yeah, it could do with a reboot again, to be honest. You could do going away for a few years and.
Well, that was part of the
start
Disney
again.
plan. I don't know if Disney's still going to do their own. That might be part of it.
Okay. Well, that's me for the week.
I was very surprised that I think, I came away from Masters of Universe liking it more than Dave. Like I loved it. I thought it was a great time. It was kind of, yeah, it was everything I wanted from it. And we always moan about films if they're just references or if they're just member berries or what have you, but this one did everything so well, and that was never the only focus of a scene. That it was just great, and once it really hit its stride, and you could sit there sure of the fact that it was confident and sort of diving into this quite silly world, and having fun with it while not sort of poking fun at it. It was, yeah, I had a blast. I said to Dave, and I've said to many people, I was a bit worried at the start. I thought we were going to keep doing that thing where a bit of heroism or an action beat is punctuated by a punchline at the end. The Marvel tick is what it is really. But first of all, the jokes were funny enough, so that saved it. But also that kind of settled down once they were really like past the first act. So it was great. I thought the score was great. Just to mention that, and yeah, like I was sitting there thinking, are we overdue a new Flash Gordon at this point, or something
Yes.
something similarly, like fantastical
Not
and
Flash Gordon.
nicely treated.
We need a Buck Rogers. That's what we need.
Nice. There we go.
Yeah.
Like some kind of property that is treated in this way, but Dave's already said it hasn't done well at the box office. I don't know. I've convinced a couple of people who are going to see it this weekend. So if I have my way, we'll try and give it legs. But
I mean, I wish word
who
of mouth
knows?
would turn it around, but I've seen a lot of people like be overtly critical of it. Like folks that give like everything MCU and DC does a pass have been like overtly critical of it, and I don't understand why it's being held to a different standard.
I mean, I know it will work. I'm guessing best for fans of the old show, but like I have memories of the old show, but I don't think I would like make sure I was there at a certain time to watch it all the time. Um, I remember the characters. I remember, I remember the opening titles and the song and stuff. But these are just things that have lingered in my memory, not because I've then gone to seek out, He-Man coloring books and comics and collect the action figures I never had as a kid. Just it was just there as part of my childhood. So, it would have a bit of extra appeal, but I can see people like if they give it a go. I'm just surprised by folks that this wouldn't work for if they knew what type of movie they were going into, because I don't think you need all of that knowledge of the source material, but it helps to be more rewarding. But unlike Dave, I really enjoyed Jared Leto's performance as well, which is helped by the fact that it doesn't really seem to be Jared Leto, and you can forget it's him. I thought it was a good portrayal of Skeletor. Did enjoy it. All the cast were good. Really, really fun time.
The only good thing about it bombing is that I can now get my series greenlit, because I had an idea for a really good TV series. I was going to make, the 80s cartoon. I was going to do The Office, but at Skeletor's hideout. The Office, but with Skeletor as Ricky Gervais's character, and just have a little office sitcom animated with Skeletor. That's on now. Now that everything else has bombed, I can get that greenlit.
Okay.
I mean, I would watch the shit out of that, but I will. Okay, I might be a little too kind to it, because one of my earliest memories is seeing a parade of people in He-Man costumes at Toys R Us when I was like 3. I have a Polaroid of myself with He-Man, and like that costume probably killed the poor child inside it, because it was pure plastic, head to toe encasement for all of them.
I also like from a practical point of view, I just thought it was quite funny that for most of the movie, Nicholas Galitzine has to wear like the big sweater and stuff. And you're sitting there thinking, we know he's got ripped for the part, but they just have to really hide it until he can have his big moment. And it felt like they didn't do anything to try and distract from that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we know and we know, but we're just making him wear a sweater until he gets in the He-Man gear.
What was that?
It's very good.
What was that gangster film with Ben Affleck where he'd put on all that like Batman muscle, and then in between he went and did some gangster movie, and it looks like he's wearing his dad's suit, so like, but his dad's a giant.
I can't
Because
remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
so I imagine Prince Adam looks
Oh,
a lot
Live
like
by Night. Yeah,
That's the
okay. I
one, that's the
remember
one.
because the poster does that, and you go, dude, that looks weird. Yes.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like he's wearing one of Andre the Giant's suits.
But Masters of the Universe is way more fun than Disclosure Day, which I caved in. I was intrigued by the trailer. I was trying not to be duped by the hype, but like they're really pushing it hard. Even if everyone comes away from this feeling as disappointed as I did, I I think it's one of those that they've guaranteed will make enough money so that they can avoid everyone having egg on their faces. Disclosure Day is Spielberg being as Spielbergy can be. Like there's so much lens flare in this that J.J. Abrams would have texted Spielberg and been like, "Calm down, just leave it. You don't need all that." It is an insane amount of lens flare. It's a ridiculous plot. I mean, the plot itself isn't necessarily ridiculous, but every main section of the plot is ridiculous. If you think about it for more than a few seconds, you're just like, why are these characters doing this? Why is this happening? Why, haven't people done X, Y, and Z? But the cast are really good. Josh O'Connor has to be pretty kind of wide-eyed and panicky and vulnerable. He's pretty good. Emily Blunt is actually really good in this. I think it may be her best performance in some time. She plays a TV weather presenter, and then she gets dragged into this plot and can also, for a reason given in the film, understand everyone around her without realizing if they're talking in different languages or if she's maybe certainly initially she's maybe got more information than she should have for someone she's just met. She's really good. Coleman Domingo is all right, but he's there controlling everything. So, as others have mentioned, he's very much on screen representation of Spielberg. I think Colin Firth is good. He's I would have liked him to have a moustache that he could twirl, but he's good. And Wyatt Russell's in this, and I like seeing Wyatt Russell. He's a little bit underused, so that's a shame. But yeah, it's like I said when the Fablemans came out, and I eventually saw that. I was like, it's I didn't like the Fablemans. It was a bit too much of. I can't remember the exact wording. Maybe a bit self-indulgent, and anyway, things of that ilk. And I said, but if anyone's earned the right to sort of have a bit of self-indulgence, it's probably Spielberg. Well, I mean, he's maybe stretching that goodwill even further with Disclosure Day because that's really what it is. And he's like revisiting his own well once or twice too often.
You did say a phrase I never thought I'd ever hear anyone say. Coleman Domingo stands in as Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like
I'm going to put this out there to the universe in case somebody with power stumbles on us and hears this. If you're going to make a Steven Spielberg biopic, cast Coleman Domingo as Steven Spielberg. Because we know you're not going to cast a nebbish Jewish guy, so let's just go full tilt the other way physically and cast Coleman, who'll give an amazing performance, at every age. I can't wait to see that mustache on a CGI 8-year-old Steven discovering cinema.
Are we putting him
I
in
want this more
whiteface,
than
or is he
anything.
just
No, he just
going
Coleman. I
natural?
would not do
Okay.
that to Coleman. He is no. Stop. Just
That would be
Coleman.
terrifying.
He will just be on his knees playing a child in the early scenes, and he just gradually stands up as Steven grows.
Wow. I rewatched the 2003's Daredevil because I didn't realize I would be like in a company of one this week on the podcast. I immediately messaged Tyler. I was like, I forgot how Tylerific this is. Just the visuals, the soundtrack. It's just it's pure Tyler core. I still have a soft spot for Daredevil. It's not great, but I do think it's slightly above average, and it tries. I think it tries in a couple of different ways. It's really weird tonally because you get Daredevil killing like one or two people at the start. So it's almost a statement of, yeah, he's a hero, but he kills people because justice isn't being served by day. You get Michael Clark Duncan being brilliant as Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. Then you get it's quite silly the stuff with Elektra, especially the flirty fight, and then I mean. I'm not even sure Colin Farrell knows that he was actually in this movie. I think they just hired him and said, "We're doing a Bullseye movie, Colin. So don't mind the other stuff. We'll just film you having a lark and being Bullseye." And he's brilliant, but he's in a completely different film. So yeah, Daredevil remains like as messy and slightly fun as I've always found it. And then
What's
last
the
but not
flirt fights? Because I remember Catwoman had a basketball flirt fight.
well,
What's the flirt?
and Daredevil is the one where he's walking to, I think he's trying to get a number or something, and they fight in the playground.
Ah,
So
Yeah.
sort
yes,
of
that's it.
on the seesaw and stuff. That's what I think of as the flirt
No,
fight. Anyway,
that's a flirt. That's the flirt
yeah.
fight. It is.
There was lots of combat flirting in that era, I believe. There was.
There was.
It was
Well,
just a thing.
you know. I mean,
Combat
it's going
flirting.
back to the nice guy shit we were talking about at the beginning.
And because I wanted to end this movie watching summary on a bright note, on a high, I finally watched Kes because I wanted to watch a cute film about a boy and his pet bird. So I watched Kes, and then I was fucking miserable for 5 hours after it. Put myself in the bin and just cried. Vicky came home from work and just wondered why the bin liner was moving and sniffling, and it was me. She's like, "What's going on?" I went, "Kez." I mean, if you think about it, Kez is only Kev with one different letter. Um, so yeah, I'm uh, I'm I'm disappointed in myself for not having got round to it sooner. But I always thought Kez was like a kind of late 70s, early 80s work. It's really early 1970s. I think it's like 1970 is when it came out, and like I've always been aware of it being present and having quite an impact. But then you watch film, and you're like, oh, that's why. Like when I was starting to become cognizant of films and stories that made an impact in the say the mid to late 80s as a youngster, Kes was still very much a thing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. Because again, Ken Loach is sort of allowing people to be represented that weren't very often or at all represented on screen, and letting them look like normal people and sound like normal people from this area that the story is filmed in. And it's a brilliant look at sort of class again in a way, but I didn't realize it was such a kind of it's a bit of a scathing indictment of the rigidity of the education system and teachers who probably assume that kids who are in a certain area with certain families who've done the hard manual work are just got to be at school until they can get punted out the door to go do that hard manual work that not everybody wants to do. Um, while others may get a free pass if they just happen to be in the right area or find a prospect. And Kez, the boy in the Kestrel, it is about that, and it's wonderful, but it's about this one thing captures this young kid's mind, and you see when he's there's a teacher talking to him or he gives a talk in class at one point, and you're like that one thing can be the key to have this sort of young mind be open to learning a bit more or to find something different that might give them a bit of happiness and sunshine as opposed to doing the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 and desperately killing those last few hours until you can get to the pub for a few pints at the weekend kind of idea. And it was great. And yes, Craig, were you not going on at me for some time to watch Kez or sort of ribbing me?
Oh no,
about it being...
I've not watched it. Not
Oh,
seen it
you've
yet.
not? Oh, I thought
No.
you'd, yeah. Like,
Well, I have an irrational, deep hatred of Kestrel, so I'm not. Would I like it?
yeah, you
Would I
love it.
enjoy it? Oh, great!
It's gonna be a great
Fucking
time for you.
despise them. So. Oh, great.
Yeah, Kez re-released his "Fuck That Kestrel" for the 2026 crowd. I mean, I highly recommend it. It just holds up, much like the best of Ken Loach's work, and that was me.
This week, we saw the 1984 American action film directed by Frank Harris, Killpoint, and the 1953 American science fiction horror film directed by William Cameron Menzies? Invaders from Mars. Dave, yes, Dave. Would you like to pick a movie and tell us about it? Sure. I'm going to start with Kevin's pick, Invaders from Mars, 1953, which was later remade in the 80s by Tobe Hooper. If you go, hey, I think that movie's not that old, that's why. It's about David McLean, a young boy who sees a flying saucer land behind his house in a sand pit one night. When his dad goes to investigate, he comes back deeply changed. On the alert, David starts noticing things getting odder and odder with the people around him, and things become more dangerous until he gets put under the protective wing of Dr. Pat Blake, who takes him to see an astronomer, Stuart Kelston. And together the three help stop the invaders from Mars. This movie stars Big Jim Hunt and Leif Erikson, which I'm really impressed that they were able to bring back the Viking discoverer of Greenland for a small role. I'm sorry, that was such a bad joke. Leif Erikson was a TV actor for a long, long time. Anyway, I had to correct myself. Invaders from Mars is okay. I really like bad sci-fi, especially from this era. There's a lot of it that I really, really enjoy, but this one just does not grab me for reasons. I'm not sure what it is about it. It's a lesser one for me overall. I am going to say this because the next two people that talk will live in the UK, and it's a different release. They changed it, and I'm assuming they saw the English version. Like, it has a different ending, a very different ending, which is one of the things I absolutely hate about the American version. I don't like the kid that plays the lead David. Jimmy Hunt is just he is a child actor, and I want to be fair. He was in a ton of stuff in the 50s, an absolute ton of stuff.
He's not a child actor anymore. In fact, he's dead.
No.
You can be as mean
Yes.
to him as you like.
I feel bad. He just died last year. It's not like he's been dead forever. I feel bad mocking any child actor, especially one under the difficult circumstances of having to work in the 1950s in B movies. That was a tough fucking time, man. But he's bad. He is not good in it. And that is part of what hurts it. I kind of want his dad, his alien controlled dad, to pick him up and smack the shit out of him. Helena Carter as Dr. Blake she's gorgeous, but she's not very good. Again, and rounding out our triumvirate, it's Arthur Franz, and he actually could be a good actor. He appeared in other things around the same time. He was in the 54 Kane Mutiny with Humphrey Bogart, and oh shit, who else is in that? Jose Ferrer and Fred McMurray, and he's solid in that. He's in some other things where he's a decent enough actor, but in this he is generic B movie scientist, which is a smug asshole you just want to kind of smack to death, just for the sheer joy of stopping them from being smug jackasses. And we spend too much time with them. When we finally get to see the aliens, it's a lot of fun. I like the designs. I love the Martian design. It is iconic and classic. And when you see it, you go, aha, I know that one. It set the standard for a lot of Martian designs that follow. The underground sets are a joy to me. The flying saucer interior is fantastic. I don't mind the surrealistic touches that the American version has, except, again, until the end where they're just like, kind of like, fuck you. Fuck you. You spent an hour and 12 minutes with us and none of it matters because fuck you. It's the 1950s, and how dare we end it anyway except just hand waving everything. And that's my problem, where I think there's a lot of good in it and it just doesn't come together, and it's not one of the better ones of the era for me. And, the 50s had a pretty big invasion cycle that left some really good movies in its wake. And for me, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. You can do much worse, but it's no Thing from Another World. It's no Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's just not on the level of the best ones that came out at this time. And it's fine, especially if you're a kid. It's a great intro to sci-fi horror. But I don't think it stands on its own, especially as an adult. And that's how I'm watching it this time,
Well, first of all, if you'll indulge me a second, Dave. How are you, Dave? Are you well?
I'm well.
Had you seen Invaders from Mars before?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes. Several times.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it as a young man?
No,
as
actually,
a child?
you know what? They did not show this on TV, on my local TV when I was a kid. So I'd seen like all the others a few times, but this one I had not seen until later, which
Oh, okay.
probably does affect it. But also, you guys don't have the dream sequence.
We do.
Where do you now? Because you
Yeah,
didn't.
we did.
do now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was interesting that there's this film in which an attractive red-haired psychologist finds a young boy in a cage and kidnaps him. I thought maybe you'd watched it at an impressionable age.
I'm going to say right now, if I saw it at an impressionable age, it would probably be an all-time favorite. But I didn't. I saw it after seeing too many other redheads that lifted the bar too high. And she does not reach it. I'm sorry.
Second, I saw her snatch that little boy that wasn't hers. I thought, come on.
There's an exception to every rule, and this is mine.
Okay. That's fine. I just thought maybe I'd found the building block of Dave. I thought I made a discovery. That's fine.
No, I'll tell you exactly. The building block of Dave was the Elvira standee in the sub shop up the street from my uncle's tile and marble shop. That thing did something to me.
Nice. I'm kind of with you. Invaders from Mars is okay. I liked it overall, but I had some issues with it. I mean, one issue, and it shouldn't really matter, but I couldn't work out what it was meant to be. Like what its intentions were, because I didn't know. Like, is it like overt Reds under the bed propaganda, or is it like a satire of Cold War politics and the reaction to them, or is it like both? Because it wouldn't be the first time like someone was hired to make one film and then kind of slyly subverted the themes to make a different film. Stuff like Starship Troopers. I wasn't really sure which one it was. And like I say, it shouldn't really matter now because it's 70 years down the line. And plus, it is a satire now. In 2026, there is no other perspective to see it from, I think, looking back. But like I say, it's not an issue because it's a 70-year-old film, but it just distracted me trying to work out where it was coming from. Plus my other issue.
Totally no.
Yeah. Plus my other issue, the middle act is kind of bad. Like the setup is excellent, and I think the climax is really, really strong. But there's a lot of wheel spinning filler in between, and I'm not a big fan of the child actor who plays David, but I do like that it's from his POV, and the fact that it totally takes away David's POV for a whole 20-minute stretch in the middle of the film and just has him as a tag along. It bothered me a bit. It's 20 minutes of this film moving its pieces around the board because it's kind of blown its exposition wads in the first third. Besides that, I liked it. It looks fantastic. I love the sets. You got that main set of the sand dunes and the fence. That kind of, I love the expressionistic look of that. I like the way that the expressionistic parts kind of give way to kind of psychedelia in the third act as they enter the spaceship. It's a really nice change of kind of cinematic language, I guess, and that worked for me. I love the color palette, the vivid color palette. It was really beautiful, and I just thought there were lots of really gorgeously composed shots, and it's really well blocked. I don't know why this always happens when I watch movies made in the 40s or the 50s, but the blocking is really, really good, and you shouldn't really notice and go, "Oh, good blocking," but it's something that happened a lot in the 50s. I guess it's kind of a hangover from theatre traditions, which was still a lot of the actors and a lot of the filmmakers involved probably still worked in the theatre and such, or started there. So that really worked. The whole visual, the whole aesthetic of it really worked for me. Even the mu-TANTS, they are incredibly lame, but they also very, very awesome. I don't know what it is about them. They're stupid, but I love them, and they complete the aesthetic of the film. They don't stand out from it. So visually, I really liked it. The script is preposterous. A couple of examples. There's the line, "You must go on, That line is spoken by a scientist whose daughter died that morning, and he has already abandoned his mourning wife to go to work. That is. I don't know if I'm impressed or horrified. If his daughter's looking down from heaven at that point, she must be thinking, "Dad, how did you get over me in an afternoon?"
I mean,
And
you
my
met the
dad-
daughter. It's reasonable.
Yeah, she was annoying, but come on, just mourn for a day. Take the day off work. He didn't even take the afternoon off work. Jesus Christ! But the best line, and it made me laugh so hard. It could have been lifted from Airplane, but it's your parents, David. What, are they okay? But not like Kathy, are they? No, David, they're not dead. Which was just such a harsh thing to say to a child, and it really made me laugh. I like the performances. They're not great. They're either too dry or too gee whiz, but they're serviceable pretty much throughout. I think Helena Carter was good. I think Leif Erikson was good, but mostly they're just serviceable. And I had a good time mostly. Like I said, I don't. It pumps all of its exposition out so early doors that the middle act is like a kind of barren wasteland. It's just tank footage and army guys prodding sand dunes with sticks for like 20 minutes, and it's just kind of dull. An 80-minute film shouldn't have a dull 20-minute stretch, but the rest is really fun and like campy and preposterous and ridiculous in all the ways that I tend to enjoy. So yeah, I liked it overall. I just I feel like Dave as well. There are lots of great 50s sci-fi movies I'd pick after that, before this, but yeah, I had fun with it.
Like, well, guys, I just, it, I just wish I had more drug taking hookers in there with some lesbian sex. That's T's review of Invaders from Mars. Pretty much. It's funny, Craig, that you asked Dave about his attachment to this and whether he'd first seen it as a youngling and what had gone through his mind. I first saw this as a youngster, and that is why it has always been a fond favourite of mine. Invaders from Mars, to me, is like the quintessential sort of late afternoon tea time BBC Two movie that I watched and knew that it was an old film, but was still won over enough by it to really just like latch onto it. Like the age of it didn't matter. The silliness and creakiness of it didn't matter, which might have all been less obvious to me when I was watching it as a kid, because I might have just been happy to not have anything too complicated. So yeah, that might have been a big plus, but everything there, um, it does. I think it generally looks great for the type of film it is. I love that music. The I think it's a choir used for the it's kind of a sound effect and part of the score, which
Yeah.
is fantastic. And that locked into my brain for years. That was always the thing I thought of when I couldn't remember this film. I would remember the image of the swirling sand as it's going away from underground and that music, and it was great. So much so that I forgot like how silly it gets in the third act. I even forgot they go into the sort of the Martian lair, as it were, which is pretty much the entire third act. I forgot you saw mu-TANTS all going around, and I forgot you had that guy sitting in the jar, just scowling at people. That's what they do. They just travel from Mars to scowl at people who are avoiding the new tants. That's what happens. But yeah, and like I know, Dave's saying about a different UK version and all that, and I'm aware of it, but I maybe I did see that version at some point when I was younger, but I since remember seeing this every time and then thinking by the end, oh, I'm surprised I have really retained my love for this over the years, because it's one of those endings that is, like, I guess, spoiler alert, but we've already mentioned it. Oh, it was all a dream, or was it? Endings. So I don't know whether like they eventually just lined it up with that ending when people could like accept it in more recent times, or um or if I've always forgotten the rest of it so much. I don't know. But I picked it this week because I did pick up the really nice 4K that was released here. I can't remember what company. It might be a BFI release. I wanted to dive in to commentary tracks and all these extra features, and I had time for none of that this week. I have failed us all. I'm very sorry about that. But when I got the chance to buy that, it was like, yeah, I was more excited getting that pre-ordered and waiting for it to come through the letterbox than many of the like strange Arrow video releases and Second Sight films I've had over the years. I was like, ooh, Invaders from Mars. It's 4K. It's got nice extras. I will own it forever. So there you go. Some things you just, it's. I think it's quite nice to have those random titles that you can say are still a beloved favourite, and folk will give you a slightly funny look. But I'm like, yeah. Even in the early scenes where the dad comes back and is like immediately and obviously a completely different person, which it really reminds me of like Craig already mentioned something similar. I think it was a spoof, but it reminds me of the gag in Airplane where you hear the inner monologues, and the wife says something like, David never has sweetener in his coffee at home," like that kind of thing. I was waiting for Mrs. McLean to start having these thoughts about her husband when he was just wanting to like basically punt his son out of the door after being so nice to him and understanding in the very first scenes. Which, let's not forget, has a kid setting his alarm for about, what was it, 4:30 in the morning or something, just so he can look at watch the sky. He's woken up the whole house. Little git should be smacked about before any Martians are trying to get their hands on him.
Agreed.
I love it. Like I understand where you're coming from, Dave, but I had to bite my tongue when you were like, I like a lot of bad sci-fi, and I'm there going, bad sci-fi, fuck you, it's a classic. But like,
I mean, you're
I
entitled
get
to
it.
that opinion, but
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, it's kind of a cheap and cheery bit of schlock, but I just there are different moments in this that to me still feel like properly classic film moments. And again, maybe that's because it was seared into my brain when I was young and I first found this on TV, or maybe it's just like what I'm drawn to and what I've seen with that as part of this sort of collage of the history of sci-fi cinema. But I love it, and I'm glad nobody was overly hurt by it. Which,
okay.
yeah,
It's just a shame that I'm the only one that's actually seen the British version, because I think it's interesting. That's all. They expand a lot of the scenes, and Jimmy like jumps around in obvious age between shots at times. It's great. It really does give it like a bonus point or two for me.
wow.
But they just did it and sort of pulled it off. Plus, it's got a neat exploding flying saucer in it.
Hey, I bet that 4K looks really, really fucking good though, because visually it's a really lovely looking film. I remember when I watched it.
It's nice.
I remember watching Evil Dead 2 on 4K for the first time, and I made Stephanie just sick to death of it. And she mocks me to this day when I was talking to her about the reds of the blood. Look how red that is. That blood is so red. But it was so red, and my mind was blown. So red.
Well, because we're used to seeing like old dupes and dubs in 8th generation release VHS, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was like that with
well,
Boarding House, but it was Boarding House, and then I cackled because I knew I was going to make Kevin watch it.
The 3-hour version.
that does exist. That could happen. It has a
Didn't
different title.
William
It's technically a different movie.
didn't William Cameron Menzies also do one of the other great sci-fis? Did he not do Things to Come, or The Shape of Things to Come? Or am I confusing him with someone else?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my
I thought he did
head.
the one with
He did
the one with Raymond Massey in it.
oh crap, I know what you're talking about. He did
I
a,
can never.
he did a lot of stuff. I don't mean it as like in, like he co-directed The Thief of Baghdad with Powell,
No, I
uncredited.
don't like he
Yeah,
did
I
a
mean,
lot, but I think this Invaders from Mars is the lesser of the sci-fi films he did. But with that, and if I'm right in remembering, if he did Things to Come or The Shape of Things to Come, whichever the title is, like that is particularly for the time, like that to me is another classic one. So he was pretty good at handling that kind of stuff.
I mean, he did good stuff. Just
Which is, puts him really on a par with writer, director, and producer Frank Harris, who gave us Killpoint.
that was such a great
Mm.
segue.
Thank you. Courtesy of Craig this week. I know why. I know why Dave left this one for me, son of a bitch, because I've got to try and make sense of this incomprehensible.
I mean, I'll do it if you want me
lot
to.
of
I will
food
totally
plot.
do it.
No.
Okay. All right,
It's
you got
fine.
it. You got this.
There,
Are you sure?
no, I'm not sure, but there is there's a bad man who's a gangster who also deals in guns, and there's someone who wants to apprehend him. The main, I'm going to say the main hero in this is played by Leo Fong. I'm going to say that he is the main hero, even though Richard Roundtree is in this and really goes about wanting to beat everybody up and cry in their face about the fate of his family. I'm going to say Leo Fong is the hero. And yeah, undercover hijinks ensue and gunfights and death. The main bad guy is played by Cameron Mitchell. He also has a right hand man baddie played by Stack Pierce, who's pretty good fun. This was, I mean, this was like essence of Craig, if you will. This is Eau de Craig. I just it boggles my mind, Craig, that I was so excited for Invaders from Mars in 4K, and I think you have this in some rigid box collector's edition, super duper release.
This was
Do
a
you?
first time
Was
watch. This
was
was a
it?
treat for us all. Yeah.
Um, I, no, it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. Yeah, this like I wanted this to be sort of maybe either cheap and silly or making up for failings elsewhere with lots of extreme uh violence and ridiculous stunts. And then it didn't really do that. Like there are a couple of ridiculously violent moments that come out of nowhere, especially when Pierce Pierce's character takes a dislike to someone and just wants to kill them off. Basically, that's pretty good because he can be a psycho and his boss is a psycho and all, but it doesn't really do enough. And then it's it's sort of got that. It's almost got that cushion around everyone, and that despite the fact that this is, not necessarily a mainstream film, that it's still aiming to work to a kind of formula, so it doesn't twist or subvert anything to any kind of degree that would make it more interesting. So it's just a flat thing that's there. Like I was surprised it didn't even really make better use of like Roundtree. Like I thought, the kind of film
Yeah.
that has him in that kind of role, I thought, right, they're going to push him. He's obviously the star turn. And don't get me wrong, like in terms of entertainment and entertaining villains, like Mitchell and Pierce are really good in that respect. Um, but then you're stuck with Fong being the hero, and that just doesn't work when Richard Roundtree's still kind of hovering around the sidelines of the movie. You like get him back on. Like he has the presence and the charisma that you want from this sort of thing, and then they don't. So yeah, this really didn't work for me, um, as well as I hoped it would. Like it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but there were moments that I was surprised by how dull they were for a while, and the big misstep was sort of not utilizing Roundtree enough.
Agreed.
I have respect for Leo Fong at points. The man worked like film was a second career to him. I think he started in like the 70s when he was in his late 40s, and he worked all the way up till his death in 2020, 2023. Like I respect that. Up to 93, man had hella hustle. But he is a bad actor. I enjoy some of the movies he directed and co-directed. Like Low Blow, I think is a fun one. Blood Street is fun. He directed a couple Cynthia Rothrock films, and Dave has been completely honest about how much he enjoys Cynthia Rothrock films. But as a performer, Leo Fong is what's a good word for it? Awful. Like he's not fun. He's just there. And he's not like he doesn't do the fights well. He doesn't do the action well. And again, he's an old man. He's in his 60s here, and I understand it. I appreciate it. But he's not good at it. And I kind of wish someone had just sat him down and said, "Let's not do this." Where this movie almost works is in the villains. And now they actually worked with him a few times. They kind of were a stock company together. Cameron Mitchell, Stack Pierce, and Hope Holiday. They and Roundtree came in and went with them. And Roundtree's always great. It's always great to see Richard Roundtree. And he does his best with this. But Cameron Mitchell is a gem, and Stack Pierce is a gem. But tragically, they are lifting up Leo Fong in this, and that is something that neither one of them can do. Do you know why? Do you know why neither one of them can do it? Because they are both human. And in order to lift up this role, which there's a sequel to this movie, did you know that?
Ooh, no.
Made 9 years later called Showdown, where he plays the same character again. I think
Characters do some heavy
well,
lifting.
I
there.
mean that there was air quotes. There were obvious air quotes around that word, okay? But I mean, and that's the problem. Where like the villains are trying their best, and they're being themselves, and they almost make it work. They're icky enough and hateable enough on screen to be almost enjoyable. Richard Roundtree is Richard Roundtreeing all over the place, and he's almost enjoyable. But we spend so much time with Leo Fong, who is just I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but he is such an absolute suck of charisma and talent and skill. I don't think he makes a single facial expression in this whole film. Like, he looks confused and tired, and that is how he fighting a man. He doesn't blink, he doesn't look angry, he looks confused and tired. Questioning the villains, he looks confused and tired, and it's just I'm gonna say the same thing I just said. There's so many movies like this at this era that are just so much better that I just don't see the appeal of this one. At least I understood the appeal of man, my voice just cracked. What the fuck was that? At least I understood the appeal of Invaders from Mars, but this one I just don't understand. Like at all. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it was actually a first time watch for me. This week I've sort of had to accept a truth, perhaps self-evident, about myself. I'm just Tyler. We are the same. We are the same person because I can watch a movie with no objectively good qualities, like none. But as long as it clings to the the sacred tenets of Craig Core, like I will have a good time with it. And I can't help that. Like my enjoyment might be more ironic than T's very sincere love, but the results are just the same. Like I enjoy many Fionas of my own. I've accepted that about myself this week. So T, if you listen to this, I will never agree with you on Fiona. I will never understand what you see in it, but I understand you a little better after this week because Killpoint is objectively irredeemable, and I enjoyed Killpoint. Those two things are true. Like the Venn diagram of this film's flaws and the reasons I enjoyed it, perfect circle. And it seems quite mean that the flaws in Invaders of Mars made me like it a little less, and the flaws in this film made me enjoy it a little more. And it's just a sickness in me that's related to the sickness that's in Tyler. So no more. I'm not going to be mean about Tyler anymore when he picks these horrible films like Fiona because I know I've got the same illness. It's just who I am. Uh it's just so much. Like Leo Fong is, yeah, he's amazingly awful. Like he's rocking the Anton Chigurh hair by choice, which is a choice. He has fucking hell. He's so blank. He has like the charisma and the emotional intensity of the back of Charles Bronson's head. He is awful, like the flattest, most monotone delivery. He's incredible. Like whatever version of the word incredible you want to use for him, it's all of them. I just I I don't know. He was so he just went beyond awful into some sort of like magical realm, and I really enjoyed him. The story is bad. I mean, Kevin said he had difficulty saying what the story was. The story is very simple. You could write the story on a matchbook, but it's so horribly unstructured that, and just paper fucking thin. But somehow, like the runtime is still loaded with exposition, like exposition for nothing. It's just every now and then it will cut to a man called Mike Skidmore. I'm not joking about this. It will cut to a man called Mike Skidmore, this kind of exposition mule, and he'll just like relay the plot, which hasn't changed since the last time he relayed the plot, and maybe give you a bit of like bare minimum characterization, like Long, isn't he that guy whose wife was raped and killed recently? That's so now you know something about the main character. It's never mentioned again and has no relevance to the film, but yes, he is the guy whose wife was raped and killed recently. The fight scenes are atrocious. Like, apparently Fong is a renowned martial artist, like an actual martial artist, but This just looks like a bunch of guys swatting bees off of each other. There's no impact. There's no weight to any of it. It's terrible. There's some interesting casting. It carries on the proud. That's getting some air quotes. A proud tradition of ethnically ambiguous Hispanic villains. Let's say we've got Italian Hispanics, Asian Hispanics, Maori Hispanics. Just stick them in a white vest. Hope for the best. Simp score is bad. The melon farmer level APR is bad. Most of it is very, very bad, but the kind of bad that I enjoy. But some of it, I'm going to say, is good. Like, even it is. There are bits of this film I think that are actually good. And yeah, the villains are the best part by a mile. Stack Pierce is the main henchman, and he is legitimately menacing. Like, he actually gave me the heebie-jeebies occasionally. And he has a really enjoyable dynamic with Cameron Mitchell. Mitchell himself, what do I say about Cameron Mitchell? Because he is truly a gem. Anyone who hired Cameron Mitchell during this era, which is very much the era of sitting 90% of his screen time and dressed 30% of his screen time, people who hired him during his heyday and just kind of let him off the leash to do as he pleased, they got pure fucking gold like every time. This is what you do with Cameron Mitchell. You get him on, you sit him on the sofa, you put him in his pajamas and just say, Cameron, you can do whatever the fuck you like, and it's beautiful. Like endlessly, he's endlessly fussing and baby talking a toy poodle throughout the film, and occasionally trying to make it smoke cigarettes and shooting out his television and just doing insane shit constantly. And he is worth 1,000 times whatever he is paid for this film. He is glorious, and I fucking love Cameron Mitchell, especially during the 80s and his brief run in the 90s. He is unhinged and wonderful. Yeah, I dug it. I enjoyed it. It is unwatchable, irredeemable shit to 99.999% of people, but it's Craigcore. It's got bullets as earplugs. It's got strippers with long butts. It's got gang members wearing Cosby sweaters. And it's got Cameron Mitchell slamming a waitress's fingers in a cash register because her baby is being too noisy. Like, just sign me up. This is my poison. This is what the sort of shit that I live for. It is absolute garbage, and I had a really great time with it. And I'm gonna bring Low Blow to the show fairly soon because I haven't seen that either, and I've heard that one's that one's a banger. I'm just sorry that you'll have to see more of Leo Fong and his terrible Anton Chigurh hair. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I had a great time with this, and I understand how wrong it was.
I mean, at least you know.
I know.
It's time to pick one. And I'm not really sure where I'm going with it.
I'm going to go with Killpoint because I feel like, Kevin's win is fairly safe. He's got his win will be safe. I won't be taking anything away from him, so I can vote my sick heart. Killpoint.
Well, I mean, I'm going Invaders from Mars.
I mean, on the one hand, you have Cameron Mitchell and Nighthawk, who I would watch a movie about Nighthawk.
Oh yeah.
He was horrifying. On the other hand,
yeah, absolutely.
You have mu-TANTS and Big Jim. And the winner is the redhead. It's always the redhead. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go with my heart. And though she's not in my top 1,000, she still wins over the Anton Chigurh.
Understandable.
I'm sorry, Craig. It was close. It was a coin flip.
Damn,
maybe
how
if
was that
the hooker
close?
was a redhead, it would have gone the other way.
I'm
But
saying that having
instead-
voted for the other film, but also that should not have been close. Good God. I'm the sick one here. You got no excuse.
I have plenty of excuses. I have 9 years of excuses. Just go back to any episode and pick one at random.
I tell you what, if Killpoint had squibs every time someone gets shot and killed, it would be a 10 out of 10. The
The
thing that
squibs
really
would
bugged
have
me
put it
about it
over the top. Yeah.
was just none of the violence had any impact, and it really annoyed me. Because it's got a hell of a body count and a hell of a lot of violence, but it's not good violence. It's not crunchy or wet.
Next week, Tyler's making us watch a movie he's been threatening for a long time, the 2001 update of Othello. Oh. And I'm going the opposite way. Mine's also an adaptation. I'm going with the 1965 Vincent Price vehicle, The Haunted Place, which I think is the first adaptation of a Lovecraft story. So, and The Haunted Place. If you know it,
Palace?
is it Palace? Why
Yeah,
am
I
I
think
saying
so.
the wrong
The
thing?
Corman film.
I am so tired. It is Palace. Why am I saying place? I know it's Palace. I'm sorry. Yes, Palace. So, Craig, I have a question.
Yes.
Did you
I
make
have
good?
not. I have not. Oh, I keep
I'm
forgetting.
gonna ask if you made good on your promise to T, and you didn't. Good thing he's not
Man,
here.
I watched Cape Fear I finished the first episode of Cape Fear about 10 minutes before we started recording. That's how
Well,
organised I am. I was like, oh, fuck, I haven't watched Cape Fear. So,
you
no, I have
do.
not. I've not arranged that. I'm
Well,
sorry.
then, I know Kevin doesn't know it. You can find us on
I know
Instagram.
it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, then go for it. Prove it. Let's see it.
Yeah, find us wherever you find podcasts and give us a like and subscribe. We're on Instagram at Raiders_of_the_podcast. You can email us at raidersofpodcast@gmail.com. We do YouTube videos where the minisodes will be dropping, and sometimes I put a little video there if I've got enough posts to share. There's Facebook. There are many, many ways to contact us. Do so. Give us feedback. Give us suggestions. We will be desperate enough to pounce on any suggestion, and that doesn't exclude us from pain, because we hurt ourselves, we hurt each other, we just hurt in the general grand scheme of things. That's it.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
See
Well,
ya.
actually, I'll talk to you Wednesday when we start talking about Cape Fear.
Yes. See you then.